Hello everybody, this is Marty, and this is Sailing Vessel Kudos, a Hans Christian 38T, heavy blue water cruiser, full keel, tipping the scales at 43,000 pounds in cruising trim. Well, she's a little dirty around the water line. I'll get to it. But Nuku Hiva. I think this boat was commissioned in Seattle and it went to Portland, Oregon, and I don't think it ever got any farther than that. I took it to Canada and San Juan last summer. She finally got to do what she was built for. Crossing the Pacific. Marquesas Islands in French Polynesia. Pretty good trip. Had a few breakages, but nothing even close to being major, just little stuff. Some of it was my fault, like not seizing some shackles that came loose and things like that. Chafe on ropes, which you can't help. But overall, pretty successful trip and just beautiful scenery. I can't wait to start cruising around and check in tomorrow. They check in here on Mondays and Thursdays. So when I got here yesterday, I messaged them, the agent. He says, "We know you're here. Come and see me tomorrow morning and we'll get you taken care of. Go ahead and have fun. Do whatever you want." So it all worked out. Just again, the scenery is phenomenal. So I've been working on things, trying to get some things done. I still got to go down and I lost another zinc on the prop. I'm going to try a different approach to it. It appears the centers are breaking out of them. The bolt's still there, but the zinc is gone. And this time I heard it rattling as it let go. It rattled for a little bit offshore when I was motoring the last 2 days here, and then it quit, and obviously it's gone. So I'm going to try putting bigger washers instead of down in a little center hole. I'm going to try putting bigger washers to cup the whole end of it and see if that alleviates the problem. Anyways, I'm going to go put around with the dinghy and do a little exploring. This is what the prop zinc looks like. It fits over a hex nut with a cotter key through it. And that's the small center hole that a small washer goes into to hold it on. Now I've been using these Allen head bolts, and that's underwater Loctite. And what I'm finding when they're gone is the bolt's still there. So obviously the center of the zinc is breaking out or corroding out. The rest of the zinc looks brand new. I inspect them all the time. So this time I'm going to try the bolt that's more to the bottom and to the left of the screen, on the screen there, with the large fender washers on it, and see if maybe it'll stay put for a while. This is my last one. I can't find any around here. I'm in contact with a shop in Hiva, Ua, where I'll be here in a week or so to see if maybe they've got them or they can order some in for me. I don't need to be damaging my propeller since it was new before I left. Motoring towards the dinghy dock, the check-in process with Tahiti crew was amazingly simple. They took care of all the paperwork and formalities. All I had to do was meet the guy at the dinghy dock or in his at his business right across the street from it. He took me in his vehicle up to the Gendarmerie, which is the police station. They already had all the forms and everything ready. The officer signed a couple of them. I signed a couple. He looked at my passport and stamped it and said, "Have a nice day." The next step, I was told I go to the mayor's office and pay 10,500 French Polynesian francs, I think is what it is, for garbage disposal, which is about $10 US. And then the bank is also down the street with an ATM. So I took care of that, and the check-in process at that point was done. Next was the biosecurity that they already scheduled an appointment for me for, and I had to go pick the guy up at the dinghy dock, take him back to the boat. He was on there maybe 15 minutes, just asked some questions, didn't go through the boat, and gave me the paperwork, and I was done. Well, it's a little wet. It has been the last couple of days, and it's supposed to be for a while now. I got tired of sitting in this. It doesn't look like nothing, but even this little swell like this, when Kudos is sideways, just rocks and rolls the heck out of it, and it was 4 times this size yesterday. Anyways, southerly swell coming up into this bay. So, for the first time, I put out my stern anchor. So the main anchor is out, probably 150 feet that way, about out in there. And then if you look around back here, you see the yellow ball back there. That's on top of my stern anchor, and you can see the line going to it. So it's holding me more directly into this swell, and I'm not doing the rock and rolling crap where you can't hardly stand up anymore. Making life much more tolerable. I'm going to have to start as soon as I get my paperwork for not having to pay duty taxes on the fuel. Then I'm going to have to start refueling Kudos, and to do that, I've got to go take my cans, and this is right here is why I have fuel cans on deck. People asked, oh, you don't need those, or what are those for? And I got to go way over there against the hillside to the ship dock, carry the cans up a ladder, which I'll probably just use a rope, fill them, and then lower them back down into the dinghy and bring them to the dinghy and put them in the boat. You can't take your boat over there because it's a ship dock, and it would tear up a boat like this trying to moor on that with a swell. So anyways, I'm going to probably have to got 4 cans, probably going to make 4 trips, I would imagine. I'm assuming Kudos is going to need about 60 gallons, and then I want the cans full again for while I'm here, so if I need any extra, I've got it. So anyways, yeah, it's starting to rain again. At times it sprinkles, and then it's okay, and then the next minute it's monsoon dumping, so you get your shower every day, I guess. Anyway, so far this is working out much better, not rocking and rolling like it was. Kudos sitting out there. Nice backdrop of scenery. Beautiful day. And here is the dinghy dock. It's simply just a concrete wall with a chain on it that you tie to and let your dinghy float away so the next person can get to the ladder to get up on top. And here they are feeding the local pets. They're feeding a bunch of tuna scraps to some sharks. That was kind of an eye-opener. I couldn't figure out what all the commotion was, and then seeing this. Pretty cool. Here's some of the fruit I picked up. Pamplemousse, which is kind of like a grapefruit, but sweeter and much larger. Cut in half. Pretty good. And then I got a breadfruit, some cucumbers, passion fruit, bananas, star fruit, and some mangoes. Okay, imported stuff into French Polynesia is extremely expensive. And obviously there's things that you probably shouldn't buy. I wanted some beef. I had to throw all what little bit I had left out before I got here because they won't allow it in. But those 2 bags of stir-fry type vegetables and that package of hamburger patties, which was good quality, was $90 US. Beer is another one. I bought 2 6-packs of beer and a couple of other things, some cookies, and I think a bottle of pop. They don't have 6-packs, 12-packs, anything like that here. Actually, pop and things like that are hard to find. And that was $90. Things you don't find here, I haven't seen milk yet in any of the places I've been into. Cheese, I've seen a little tiny bit back in Nuku Hiva, and I got a couple of little pieces, and other than that, that's it for that. There's just a lot of things you're not going to find. And the grocery stores in the smaller areas are way less than what the mini marts we have in the United States are. They don't have much at all. So obviously everybody raises a lot of their own food here. Now at the fuel dock. I got to take a dinghy and tie up against that wall. There's a big boat in there right now, and he's doing what they call medmore, which I've never done, and I don't have crew, so there's no way in the world I'm going to try it. You anchor and then you back in towards the dock, but he's got stern and bow thrusters and lots of crew, so it makes it easy for him. Anyways, I had to go over, tie up, carry my cans to the fuel station, come back, lower them into a dinghy with a rope, and then get back into the dinghy and go. Next was a major I got the boat fueled up, taking the dinghy around. I'd already done a rig inspection when I got into there. I try to do that every day. Make sure there's not something like a cotter key missing or whatever. And I was going around and the bow lights weren't working. So I got into the anchor locker and there was a bad splice in a wire there. So I ended up going inside and replacing all the wire up in that area, clear out to the lights. So it's all new, but while I was doing so, I looked up and I noticed this. The inner stay chain plate broken in two just below the bowsprit. I got a hold of some people in town. There was one welder in town. I ended up taking it in, beaching the dinghy. Of course, that was interesting. For my dory days in Pacific City, beaching a 10-foot dinghy is a lot different than a 22-foot dory. Got a lot of water in it. It was fun. But anyways, took it up. He got it welded up pretty quick for me and come back and got it put back together. I'm glad I noticed that before I went back offshore. Not that it would have brought the mast down. It is the inner stay, so it's structural, but not that much. So anyways, that was a major but it all worked out. Leaving Nuku Hiva. Guy right back there, nice guy, came and stopped by yesterday. Talked to me for a while. The cat back there parked right on top of my anchor. Fortunately, I was able to get close enough and drag it out from underneath him. If the anchor would have been in anything else but sand, I don't know that they would have had to move. Anyways, the supply cruise ship is over there. Front half is a cargo ship delivering supplies. The back half, you can actually book rooms in it, and it's a cruise ship bouncing around all over these islands. anyways, yeah, out of Nuku Hiva. Pulling the anchor, getting the stern anchor up, all that. Of course, it just wasn't supposed to rain today, and it opened up and dumped. So I don't have to take a shower today. I already got one. Feels kind of good. It's warm, but person doesn't mind the rain so much when it's warm like this. But anyways, good time here. Got my problem fixed on my bowsprit, inner chain plate repaired and welded back together that broke, and gonna head to that island that's right up in the front of us. Ua Pou. I don't know how to pronounce half these names. Anyways, hopefully there's enough wind out there to get sails up. It's only like 30 miles or something like that, but get in an anchorage on the north side of that island, because the swell's coming out of the south. Maybe I'll have a little nicer time. This anchorage, the swell's been rolling right into it almost the entire time, and makes it difficult to do things, especially like working on the bowsprit and stuff. I'm bouncing up and down, 3-4 feet, trying to hang on and do things. It's makes things interesting. Anyways, on my way. Getting ready to put sails up, and I got some new buddies. Whew. 3, 4. Pretty good sized dolphin. Pretty cool. Looks like a flipper. Good morning. Been here a couple of days. I know I'm going to butcher the name, but Hakahetow Harbor. A little village up here. A couple of those big rock spires are up here, but they're covered by clouds right now. I've been invited up to this yellow building at noon. They're having a big luncheon for everybody, some people in the town, and invited all the cruisers in for it. You pay for it, but I thought that was pretty cool. There's several of us out here in this anchorage, I guess, that are going to go, so I'll get to meet some people. It's a little blustery this morning. It's just got done raining for a little bit. But overall, pretty decent spot. Tucked in here far enough it's not real rolly or anything. So I got my flopper stopper out, so that's helping too. Might stay here a few more days. Kind of killing time till I can head south. Farther south. Here you go. How'd you like to try to launch your boat in that?